What is the name of Marshmallow? This is actually still bothersome.
It's Bergamot.
Bergamot. What's his name? Fuck.
What's that movie that a holiday hit? Don't ask Elaine, 'cause she'll say I haven't seen it.
Welcome to the Haven't Seen It podcast. This is a podcast where we bring people on the show, we get them really drunk, and they tell me about a holiday movie that I've never seen before. Oh, I'm your host, Alinka Zach. Thank you so much for joining me, and a happy Merry Christmas to you, too. Thank you so much.
And I'm Will Claus.
I really hate when you try to deviate from this, from what we know. It is by far my...
Only you're allowed to deviate from the...
Yeah, because I don't know if you noticed, but it was a little more natural. Felt a little bit more organic. Flowed better. Felt right.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know what does feel right?
Please tell me.
Our next guests.
Yes!
They just feel right.
It feels...
They just fit in real well. And I think it's because they've been on our show before.
Yeah. I'm hyped to have them back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I am too. We have for you on this episode today, we have Chris and Tamlynn of Cookie Biscuits and Boy Girl Party.
Woo! Well, Chris isn't in Boy Girl Party, but
what a loser!
But I thought I'd shout out both groups.
Boy Girl Party is my new sketch group. Thank you so much for shouting it out, Will.
Whoa! Are you breaking?
And also, thank you for having me on the show as well.
Oh no,
you're not in the new sketch
Chris
group.
Is
Chris,
the
we don't
new
care about you anymore.
Right.
Well, he now has a bigger beard than I have, so
yeah, and it is fantastic.
Will, are we going to start our own sketch troupe?
Oh my god,
bigger beards.
Yeah,
big beards.
The bigger beards.
Beard boys.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Boys to beards.
Party.
Beard boy party.
Boys to beards too.
Oh man.
Yes.
And honestly,
Boys to beards.
Actually, lack of beards in our movie we're talking about tonight. What movie are we talking about tonight?
Are you asking me?
Did you forget?
I always get nervous. It's Love Actually, yes? Perhaps, yes.
Yes.
Love Actually.
Actually, it is. Yeah.
Yeah?
Love Actually is the movie we're discussing tonight.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm upset with my camera position because now you can see me guys fidgeting because I get nervous. I get so scared on this show because there's so much stress on me. It's terrifying. Yeah, I don't fucking know.
Why is there stress on you?
Because
I feel stressed. I don't know how we're going to explain this movie.
I don't think you understand. Listen, a lot of people watch the news. A lot of people go online and they read things. A lot of people kind of are somewhat versed about the going-ons about the world. I am not. And I get very embarrassed. And I try so hard to pretend I know. And I just get really sad. Enough about me, though. Let's talk about the movie, because I fucking don't know what happens. At all.
Yeah. Well, why? Well, you two originally picked this movie way back when we first wanted you on, and I was like, you know what? No holiday movies until Christmas time.
Great idea.
It is now the month of Christmas and other,
which is December,
holidays.
By the way.
December.
For those of you that are not familiar. Will.
So now we're back here. Why did you pick this movie?
Chris?
I picked this movie because I like movies that I know about, and I've seen this movie so many times, like probably watched it once a year at least.
That's excessive.
So I'm pretty familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my reasoning.
Same answer. This is the movie that like my family pretty much watches every Christmas. We all watch it together. And so I thought when we were first choosing, I was like, I could probably describe that one pretty well. And then when I did the rewatch 2 nights ago to do this podcast, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. There's so many. I forgot how quickly the plots jump around.
Yeah.
It's going to it's going to get messy tonight, folks. It's going to be a messy one.
It's going to get messy. Not a whole lot actually happens. Honestly, I feel like if you told the plots, per character, you could get through it real quick. But the fact that we got to jump around, which we are going to do, we're not cheating by just telling the plots of each character. We're going to jump as this movie does. It's going to get confusing, and we're going to definitely forget when time jumps where.
Well, I was going to ask, actually, Will, how on top of that do you want to be? Because I can keep us somewhat. I can be like, no, we're not talking about them yet because we haven't gotten to this scene yet.
Yeah.
Fuck, I think Chris is the new Will.
Yeah.
Because that's my job, motherfucker. But I was
going to say, if you want to be in charge of that, feel free.
You're the guest.
You better be in charge of that. You better be in charge of that. I will pop in with my observations and my remembrances.
Now, I don't mean to be a little bit of a cunt about this, but is this movie not kind of like shit? Is it not one of those movies that they made for the holidays with as many famous people as they could smoosh into one screen?
So, yes, but in my opinion, and maybe listeners will correct me if I'm wrong, this was, I feel like, the first movie that really did that, of having all these different intertwining storylines. And then you had movies later like New Year's Eve and Valentine's Day that tried to do this, but in my opinion, those movies were not very good. And I would say the original Love Actually, I used to say was a great movie. It has come under scrutiny in past years over some parts being kind of problematic or not, like a little anti-feminist might be a bit strong, but things that are now that's maybe a problematic storyline. So I now don't know if I can be it's a great movie because it definitely has its flaws. But I don't think it's shit. But
it stood the test of time. Yeah. I certainly watch it every year as well as you guys.
People watch this every year.
This is a if you're gonna watch any rom-com at Christmas, it's this one. There's a ton of them, but this is the one.
This is the rom-com.
Yeah.
Are we sure about that?
Yeah, it's a Christmas classic. Also, nobody at New Year's watches New Year's movies. And so that New Year's Eve movie, not a classic.
Sam and I do watch When Harry Met Sally, so
hold
your freaking horses there, Chris.
That's fair.
Real quick.
As I was saying it, the one movie I thought of was When Harry Met Sally.
Right. Real quick to interrupt, and I'm so sorry. I think my European father is playing the pan flute at the moment. Is anybody hearing that?
I
can hear that. Yeah.
I thought that was a new thing you guys are doing, live music during the recording.
I don't really have much control over that.
He is himself playing a pan flute.
He does it for the cats.
And
he does it for the cats.
I mean, Paul F. Tompkins. Okay. I was going to say, Paul F. Tompkins on the Pod F. Tomcast had Evan Schletter. We've got Alenka's dad.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a step up.
I agree. You guys do not know. Milos is.
He's Czech.
Exactly.
The fact that it's for the cats is so wholesome.
I know. It is such a cute pan flute, too. It looks like something straight out of I don't know, Peter Pan, maybe. Some forest boy.
Does Peter Pan play a pan flute?
He just wears green, I think. So I associated that with the forest.
Right?
And
he's named after the flute.
I don't know. Peter Pan
the flute's named after him. Okay.
I also I want to say to the listeners, I feel like I started off this podcast by being like, Chris isn't in Boy Girl Party, and I feel like that was a bad first impression, and I just want the listeners to know that I'm going to spend the rest of the podcast trying to make you fall in love with me. We'll see if it happens.
Oh, yikes.
And Chris, you're always invited to the party.
I was going to say, I want the listeners to know that I asked to be in Boy Girl Party, and Tamlynn said, no fucking way.
Yikes.
Am I going to be in another sketch troupe with you?
Yikes.
Yeah, I actually joined Boy Girl Party because I was friggin' sick of making comedy with Chris. And I was like, just give me one day a week where I can make comedy with someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that.
That being said, I'm a nice person and I really want to win back the audience. So...
Well, you get the chance to tonight.
You'll get an opportunity, but it's a small window that you're going to have to try to foofy in. So
Oh, I'll try to foof with the best of them.
Boof it.
I think they're already on your side. I don't think they like me either. So you're,
Why are you guys so
they're like, yeah, we get
insecure? Oh no. Oh no.
Well, speaking
We're
of
actors.
insecure,
We're
Lenka,
all insecure.
Yeah.
you're insecure about your knowledge of things.
Yeah.
What's your knowledge of this movie?
Is Ryan Gosling in it?
No.
Really? He's not?
No.
What's
half of Hollywood is in this movie. You had like a 50-50 guess or chance there.
But it's primarily a British cast, no?
Okay.
Yeah, it's half of British Hollywood.
So I thought this was the movie with Ryan Gosling and Steve Carell. What's that one?
Crazy Stupid
Crazy
Love.
Stupid
Crazy
Love.
Stupid
yeah.
Love, yeah.
Thing, right? So here's how Love Actually works. We've got a middle-aged Steve Carell, and he's not dating anyone. And then we've got Ryan Gosling with the body of Ryan Gosling, and he's like, middle-aged Steve Carell, I'm going to teach you how to fall in love, actually. And then he does. And they both fall in love with, I don't know, maybe Nicole Kidman and Lucy Liu. I don't know. That's my synopsis. Thank you so much. Oh,
Is
and
that
it's
like-
Christmas.
Decent synopsis
And it's
of Crazy
Christmas.
Stupid Love.
And it's Christmas. So
It is Christmas.
that's what happened.
It's Christmas.
Christmas. So that's Love Actually. Am I right?
And is that
That's
your
I don't
final
fucking
answer?
know what this
Yeah.
movie's like. I guess
Oh
if
my
I had
God.
to take an educated guess, many celebrities. Christmas, the weeks coming to Christmas. People
Ooh.
dating. They're like, oh, you have to come see my family? I don't want to see your I hate your mom. Your mom doesn't like me. And then, conflict. An old couple. There's probably an older couple and their Christmas. And then there's definitely a young couple or several and their Christmas. And, a husband and a wife having a rough time with a child.
Ooh.
They're going through it. And, they just all do their thing. And by Christmas Day, everybody's in love again. And that's how it goes.
You hit a few points there.
I know.
Yeah.
I've seen
Yeah,
this
I
movie.
would've-
Specifically the weeks. You said weeks, which is such a specific thing.
Is it?
The weeks
Yeah.
leading up, and it's referenced. Yes.
I got that.
I do feel like something you mentioned that I realized is missing from Love Actually is an older couple.
Interesting. I'm upset now.
Well, yeah. There's some older friends,
What does that mean?
older
friends.
platonic friend couple. We'll get to it.
Is there?
Yeah.
They're like middle-aged.
Do they have gray hair?
people.
Yeah, they're
But
not like
there's no, like,
old.
older, yeah.
yeah, you're right.
I'm
you're right.
upset.
Like how old would
There's
have
no like seniors.
Yeah, yeah.
Upsetting.
like
There's no
Bill Nye
senior
was
storyline.
getting up there for sure. Yeah, and that's what
You're
yeah,
right.
That's what you're talking. That's what you're talking about.
Who?
That's
Right.
what Will was referencing.
Lucy
I
Liu?
forgot he was. I forgot his pod
Lucy Liu.
existed.
Who are we talking?
Lucy Liu.
Yeah, she's getting up there, Lucy Liu.
She was in Charlie's Angels.
She's been in much more since then.
She was
but
just in Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
To me, and Pulp Fiction.
Oh,
No, sorry,
Well.
not that one. Doesn't matter. It's fine. I don't care. I hate myself. Let's
Kill Bill. Kill Bill.
continue. I want to
Well,
die.
I was just about to talk about the drink.
Oh, fine.
But the drink is not really a drink. It's amalgamation of things. Mostly it's just the cast names turned into funny drink puns. And I think I want to reveal them as we go along.
Okay.
As we start explaining, we will then reveal the funny drink puns. But the drinks are gin, beer, and rye. Those are the three alcohols that we're drinking. You will find out why as we reveal the names. But the name of the entire group of drinks is called Christmas is All Around.
That's lame.
Aw.
I have a
Mhm.
confession.
What?
Yes.
I replaced rye with rum.
Well, fuck.
That's okay.
So
I replaced
I know
rye
that
with
pretty much
cider.
ruins everything.
Ow.
I don't really like gin or rye, but I was like, I can
Perfect.
probably deal with gin, but I'm just going to replace rye with rum because they both start with R, even though it makes the puns not make sense. But we'll pretend I'm drinking rye.
We'll
fine.
change them for you.
You know what? Half the time I'm not even drinking anything. So
Will?
No, I am drinking. I am drinking
Secrets.
things. Just
Will?
not the specific things because that gets expensive.
Okay.
It's real expensive.
This is an expensive
So
podcast,
you're telling
to be on, I
me-
will say that.
You expect our guests to spend mad money.
No. I say optional. It's all optional.
You guys heard it first. Will is a psychotic money person that enjoys reveling in others' poor placed income.
Great.
Great.
Thank you for that.
I just want people to know who they're dealing with.
Oh. Well,
Is it their turn now?
now that we've got that out of
It's
the way,
their turn, isn't it?
yeah,
Oh, I'm excited.
it's time to start the movie. Listeners, if you loved last week's episode on the holiday, you're gonna love this movie. Conversely, if you didn't like the
Hated
holiday,
that,
you're
actually.
probably not gonna like this movie.
I didn't like
either.
it.
But let's hear it. Chris and Tamlynn, how does this movie start?
Ooh, okay. This part I know. So this is maybe the one part I'm confident in. So we open on an airport and you hear a voiceover of Hugh Grant's voice saying something to the effect of, every time I'm going to try to maybe do accents as we go through. And I recognize
Perfect.
that I don't have a good accent. So I really want to apologize to anyone British listening. I know it's bad.
She's still trying to win you guys over. Don't be fooled.
Love me. I'm just desperate for affection. So we hear Hugh Grant's voice say something to the effect of, whenever I'm something about how we always think the humans are evil and do bad things, but that's actually not my experience of humans. When I look at the arrivals gate at Heathrow Airport, you look around and you see like different types of love. And so as this is going on, we're seeing shots that look like they're like real shots of real people, but they may be shots of actors that have been made to look like real people.
Really?
I mean, I don't know.
I feel like it's real airport footage.
Oh, I thought you were being a little
I'd like to hope
sarcastic
that it's
prick.
real.
No, I
I'm
wasn't.
like, I really don't know. It looks like it's real airport footage, but I'm like, I've read no articles about whether or not it's real.
Okay. I thought you maybe read something. I was going to be real sad. I was like, really? They faked all those?
I'm just, I'm like, I don't know if they're faked or
I'm
not.
curious.
But they look real. It looks like you're watching real footage. And he's like, you're seeing, people reuniting, best friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, old friends. He's like, when the planes were headed towards the Twin Towers, as far as I know, none of the calls were about hate or revenge. They were all about love. And then it ends with him saying something to the point of, because I think that love actually is all around. And when he says that love actually, like the words come on the screen,
Oof.
and then the actually turns red, and the love is white, and the rest of the words fade away. So it says love actually.
Right.
That's our opening.
Yeah.
Now
Airport hugs.
We hear Hugh Grant, but we're not necessarily introduced to his character. So I'm going to hold off on drinking yet. We're not going to drink yet. We will reveal Hugh Grant's beer pun name when it comes time.
Okay.
And then we're in a recording studio, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, it kind of is a mixture. There's like a montage where we kind of are introduced to all our players. Most of them, right?
Chris
most
looks
of the
like he
players,
does
right?
not agree with you.
I don't
Oh,
know.
no?
I think it's the recording
do.
studio
Yeah,
first.
I think we only
really?
see
Oh.
randoms in the airport.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, Will.
And then I think it's after the recording studio, then we see people like rushing to the wedding and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yes, you're right. Because then we hear the music. Yes.
Yeah. So, cut to a recording studio.
So it looks like we're drinking rye first.
We're drinking rye first. We're introduced to Bill Nighy's character, who we are calling Bill Rye-ghy. That's our first drink.
Is
Cheers
this
to
Bill
rye.
Nye the Science Guy? Serious question?
Yes.
Yep.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. I should have played up that joke. No, this is an actor, an older actor who happens to
had
have
a
a similar
science
name.
show? 4 kids,
sounding name.
And then also
Yeah.
started educating adults very aggressively.
Yep. He's very very passionate that climate change is
Versatile.
real.
Yeah.
It's good.
They are similar. They're both tall and lanky and occasionally wear bow ties.
Nice.
That is true.
I'm envisioning Bill Nye from now on.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love
It's
it.
Bill Rye-ghy.
Bill Nye.
Bill Rumhey.
Bill Rumhey.
So
Yeah, you're doing
we're in
Bill
a
Rumhey.
recording studio. Bill Rye-ghy is an older gentleman. He's sitting on a stool. He's kind of like a funky, like he's grooving out.
Cute.
He's got 3 backup singers there. You hear the backup tracks, and it's the song Love Is All Around. And he starts singing, and he's like, I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my toes. Backup singers, I feel it in my toes. Yeah. And he says, love is all around me. And everyone goes like, ugh. And he's like, oh, sorry. Okay, do it again.
Oh, yikes.
We don't really know what's went wrong. But he goes again. He says, love is all around me again. And they're like, ah. And he lets out a bunch of cusses. Oh,
Very
he goes
British.
like,
It's
oh,
like,
ass.
cock it, fuck.
Cocking, fuck,
fucking
ass-headed
cock
hole.
arse. Yeah.
Whoa.
Do it again. Or he's like, I just know the original so well. And his producer's like, well, we all do. And that's why we're making the remake. So he goes a 3rd time. And this time, instead of love, he says, Christmas is all around me.
That does not
And
flow.
they keep recording the song. It does not. They address later how
I mean, they address it in
syllables-
this scene.
Yeah.
He says, this is shit, isn't it? And his producer or like manager's like,
Manager.
yeah, it's gold shit.
Solid gold shit, maestro.
Come on.
And then he kind of goes like, he has a little like smirk to himself. And then this is where I think we see a bit of as the music swells, we see a bit of a montage of some of the characters we're about to meet.
Yeah. And a lot of them are getting ready to go to this wedding.
All of them.
So
Well, they're
Many
getting
of
ready
them.
to go a couple places.
a couple places.
They're getting ready to go a couple places. Yeah.
Some of them are like real ready to go to this wedding. Some of them are going to a funeral.
Yeah.
And some of them are just around. I don't know.
Yeah, and in one sense, it's a montage. And that's what I was thinking while watching it. And in another sense, the rest of the movie is this fast paced in the sense that it
Yes.
just keeps flipping through every story.
Exactly.
So I know one thing that we're introduced to is Colin Firth's character. Who do we have a Colin Firth?
Yes, we have Tom Collins Firth. That's created
The
by
judges.
Chris. Chris actually created many of these names, so I will point out the names that he suggested to me.
I couldn't help myself. Thank you.
And that's gin, because Tom Collins is a
Oh, yeah,
gin-based
shit.
one.
I have it straight.
I almost took a drink of my beer. Like,
How embarrassing.
Jesus. Don't you know your drinks? Don't you know your drinks? Your
The
cast
audience
name
will
puns?
know and they will
Honestly,
be furious.
pretty
Yes.
smooth.
So Colin Firth is getting ready to go somewhere, and his presumably girlfriend or wife, I believe girlfriend, is like, she looks kind of sick. Her nose is red, and he's like kissing her goodbye. He's like, "Oh, I love you so much," and she's like, "Oh, I know." And he's like, "I love you when you're sick and look disgusting." And she's like, "Oh, I know." Like, it's all cute and bantery, and she's like, "No, get out of here, loser! You're gonna be late." But it's all like cute, and they seem very in love.
Sure.
And he rushes out the door and goes, "Did I mention I love you?" And she's like, "Yes."
People
get
don't
out of here."
fucking act like that in a relationship, right?
so true.
Yeah.
They don't.
It's a good
right?
thing that the rest of this movie is very realistic.
Oh,
Super.
because that's sarcasm.
Colin Firth's storyline in particular is a very
No.
realistic storyline.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
I'm
the most
upset.
real love story this whole movie has.
You guys are
Yeah.
pulling my leg.
Who else do we meet in
we
this
meet-
montage?
Next up, do you want me to say?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have the notes.
It's Liam Neeson and Emma Thompson.
I
Ooh, yes. So
like
Liam
him.
Neeson is Jin, and his name is Liam Neegin. Not very creative,
That was
but
dumb.
I was getting tired. So,
I'm getting fine.
And Emma Thompson is Emma Hopson.
Beer.
So that's beer.
So that's beer.
Oh, we're getting drunk
Cheers.
today.
I'm upset. I actually work pretty
All right.
early.
Yes, we're introduced to Liam Neeson and Emma Thompson separately, though. At this point.
No, he
no.
calls her.
Yeah, they.
Oh
yeah.
yes, he calls. Yeah, she calls him, or he calls her. and
Yeah, he calls
he's-
her. Sorry.
Oh
You
yeah.
go.
Well, yeah. He's like, do you have time to talk? And she's not. And he's like, and she's like, doesn't mean that I'm not terribly upset that your wife just died. And it's kind of like funny but sad. And we find out Liam Neeson's wife just died, which is really sad because then his wife died 6 years later.
Oh,
I didn't know that. That is very sad.
That is sad. His actual wife.
Oh, I thought his actual wife died before this, and that he was
No,
drawing on that because his acting is so fucking good.
it's so good.
it's
yeah.
Liam Neeson.
No, I thought that too, and I was like, no, this movie is 2003. Natasha Richardson died in 2009, Michael Jackson year.
Whoa,
Mhm.
Crusty. Forgot he died. It's a legacy.
You forgot Michael Jackson died?
He has a legacy. How could you just?
Of course, the legacy never dies.
right?
And not all of
It
his
just
legacy
feels
is
like
good.
it just feels like he's still here, haunting some people.
Yeah.
He's definitely haunting many people.
Yeah,
Oh Jesus.
yeah.
Anyway, we can do Leaving Neverland movie recap
Yeah,
a
some
different
other day.
podcast episode.
I can't wait.
So then we cut to Emma Thompson's. So like she's hung up the phone and she's like, "Oh, what did you need to tell me?" to her kid who's like, I don't know, I presume like 12-ish,
Annoying.
young
Young
girl.
kids.
Yeah.
And she's like, "We got our parts in the nativity play." And Emma Thompson goes, "Oh," and she looks exactly like Professor Trelawney when she does it. And so it makes me very happy
That's true.
because she also plays Professor Trelawney. And the kid goes, "And I'm the lobster." She goes, "The lobster in the nativity play?" And she's like, "First lobster." She's like, "There's more than one lobster present at the birth of Jesus." And the kid goes, "Duh."
Tamlynn, your British accent has gotten 1,000 times better since you did Hugh Grant.
I don't, yeah.
Yeah.
If I can remember the specific words they said, I can do the accent better if I'm like mimicking someone's actual sentence. But if I'm trying to just like do a British accent, I'm not very good at it.
Yeah,
That's fair.
that is fair.
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna end up doing really bad Cockney, so watch out for
Really bad
that.
Is this lobster thing like overly important?
It comes back. It comes
Yeah,
back.
it comes back.
It's super
the nativity
important.
play is kind of a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll
Is that
find
a
it.
thing that they
Who else
do?
Oh,
It's actually a good point of writing, and I'm going to bring it up later. But I actually do like why they bring that together. But keep going. What?
Nativity plays happen in like Catholic schools on Christmas Day, right? Or like Christmas Eve, usually. Yes.
I know in churches it's usually like a Christmas Eve kind of thing.
Yeah.
I never did them in my actual school, so I'm not sure. I think
Mhm.
in this movie it's a Christmas Eve situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's supposed to be. Sometimes though, the timeline is so weird. You're like, it feels like it's been Christmas Eve for a week now. Like, what's going on here?
Mhm.
But now is the next scene the wedding? Is that the next scene?
Well, I mean, not if we're going to be real like sticklers about it.
Let's not be sticklers for now.
Is there anyone else we need to meet?
Let me
though?
see how much. Oh no, there's so much before the wedding.
Oh my God.
There's so
I
many
thought
notes.
it was
I can go
so we
through
need
them
to
really
meet.
quick if you want.
Yes, yeah, like
Go,
it's
Chris,
rapid
go,
fire.
go,
Yeah.
Chris.
We meet the guy that's handing out muffins, and he's basically sexually harassing everyone in the office,
Oh,
saying, "Try
yes,
my lovely
yes.
nuts and muffins
Yeah, yeah.
and whatnot."
How
He
old
doesn't
is he?
get a drink. He's our break.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know.
20s.
Mid
I think he's supposed to be in his
early
mid-20s,
30s.
yeah.
That's weird.
And we also meet Alan Rickman's secretary.
Oh yes,
Mia.
She does not have a drink as well.
And then we meet Martin Freeman.
Oh, is that what we meet? Oh man.
We meet him next.
Nice.
And
do you wanna-
his
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, his is this is Chris's, so Chris can name the drink.
Oh, so we named Martin Freeman Martin Sleeman, which Alenka, you're actually drinking, right?
I am.
Yeah.
I have the
Nice.
So we'll be
So good.
Speed River Pilsner.
cheers to some beer.
Cheers.
And I already forget his
Cheers.
name. What was his name?
Martin
Sleeman.
Freeman or Martin Sleeman.
Martin Sleeman. And he's having simulated sex, fully clothed, which the actress's name is Joanna Page, but when they introduce each like themselves, she says just Judy. And so in the actual credits, her name is just Judy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Sweet.
That's funny.
That's fun fact.
Yeah.
Cute that they did that.
But yeah, they're having sex with their clothes on like a movie set.
Mhm.
What?
I think
Yeah.
we kind of get the impression that they're stand-ins for
Yeah, they're like
For
body
a
doubles,
porno,
kind of.
yeah.
Yeah.
For
like
porno
stand-ins
or
while
I
they
think
do
for a
like-
real
No,
movie.
for a real
Oh,
movie.
yeah?
Because he
That
talks
makes
about
sense.
he talks about like, oh, one time I was standing in for Brad Pitt.
But it seems like it's a very graphic sex scene.
It's
See, that's the thing. Is
very-
like I'm like I don't know a porno that's high budget enough to have lighting stand-ins, but I also can't think of a movie that I've seen that has like this. Or there aren't that many high budget movies that have this graphic of a sex scene.
Caligula, which we're gonna do sometime.
What's
but-
Why are you laughing?
Oh, it's like basically a porno that was like a big blockbuster Hollywood
How'd that
movie.
happen? I don't want to talk about that one.
Through mounds of red tape, I'm sure.
I'm scared.
And then we're at the wedding.
Now we're at the wedding. And the wedding consists of I'll make it right, because when you first said this drink, I was like, have I been saying this guy's name wrong? But it's Chiwetel Rye-jofor.
Yes, that is
Is that
correct.
okay, Rye-jofor. I was saying like Ejiofor.
Mm.
So I was like,
Mm.
that doesn't work. And
I
then
hope
I was
I'm
like,
not
I've been
wrong because I'm
saying
not
it.
confident enough to say one way or the other.
Well, then anyway, Chiwetel Ejiofor is getting married to Keira Knightley, and that's rye and beer. So Chiwetel Rye-jofor.
Okay.
Cheers.
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 Rye.
Is getting married to Beera Knightley. That's also both of those are Chris inspired drinks.
That's a good one.
I feel like what we're doing right now is exactly what we were taught not to do in university. It was like you can drink, just like don't mix, or like in high school. And now it's like
And now we're all
mixing, like,
way
we're like-
too old to be doing this, and I feel like we're going to
Yeah.
be hurting tomorrow.
It's gonna
I
be
also
great.
have a tall glass of water here.
Oh, that's smart.
Yes, keep drinking
That's
that.
very
I
smart.
haven't drank any
Yes.
water today.
We actually haven't really even met Keira Knightley's character yet because it was actually a conversation between Chiwetel and Andrew Lincoln's character.
Which is Andrew Drinkoln.
Yeah.
So that's just drink whatever you want
Oh.
in that moment.
I'm
That's a
drinking
wild
beer.
card drink.
Yeah.
No specific alcohol pun.
Nice.
He's a wild card because of how wild he is in The Walking Dead.
Exactly.
Who is this
It
guy?
was very weird. This is what I knew him from, and
Yeah, I know.
and
Me
seeing
too.
him in The Walking Dead, I was like, "Why are you so angry all the time?"
Which one is
I'm
he?
not going to lie. In my notes, I call him Rick Grimes most of the time.
Is this the lead guy with the sheriff hat?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
But he's a British actor, so he's all like clean cut and British in this, and you're like, oh, this is very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not all like,
Baymon.
Carl.
Bayman.
Oh.
Bayman. Bayman. That's the name,
So
right?
close.
Fuck.
you're
So
so
close.
close.
Damn it.
You almost
It was
got
so
it.
close.
You
It
almost
just
got
came
it.
to me.
All right.
Baymax. Fuck you
So we're-
guys.
There you go.
Yeah.
You got it. Yeah.
All right. I got it.
I don't even know if that's on the regular recording, but whatever. So yeah, they're getting married. Andrew Lincoln's the best man, and they're throwing this wedding. At the wedding, is also Tom Collins Firth. So drink a little gin. He's at that
I'm
wedding.
stressed. Well, I
And
don't like
we're
it.
not fully introduced to this character in this moment, but we see Laura Linney also at the wedding, and her drink name is Laura Ginny.
No,
Another gin.
I'm not liking my gin drink. It's just gin.
Then drink it.
So is
Just
mine.
drink
No.
It's just gin.
it.
Mine is flavored gin, but it is just gin.
It's very.
Oh.
tasty.
Take it
Just
slow,
Judy.
guys. Be
It's
careful.
actually credited as just gin.
You made me spit out some gin.
I'm stressed.
That's an expensive gin too.
Yeah.
I
Blew my
won't.
syrup on it.
Now,
So-
one thing I did notice, and this goes out throughout the whole movie, why is every place cold? Why are they so cold indoors? Everyone's wearing like winter gear indoors in this movie.
I happen to do
Interesting.
that.
I never
Seriously.
actually thought about that.
Laura Linney's got a big ass toque on. Everyone's wearing
That's
their
true.
winter
At
gear.
a wedding,
Huh.
at an
At
indoor
an
wedding.
indoor church wedding.
Hmm.
And you'll see later at the funeral, everyone's wearing their fucking winter coats.
Indoor.
Everyone is cold indoors.
It's fucking
Why?
winter. Will, I have on occasion
They got
arrived
heat
to
over
a
in
place
London, I think.
in which I was wearing a coat to get there, and then kept it on because I was frigid. And I'll tell you
yeah,
why.
but everyone do that?
No, the coat's too thin, and I was already cold outside, so I kept the coat on to warm up.
Right. I don't think the director was good enough to like communicate that that to us in this movie. But
Yeah, I'm guessing their set was just cold, and they
I
were
digress,
they were like,
Can
we
we
have to
keep
wear
the
our
coats
coats.
on?
This is against labor laws. Great,
so they
Chris.
get married. They're getting married. We got to now.
We love
We've
you.
really got to push through everything now. But they're getting married, and the conversation between Chiwetel and Andrew is that he's like, no surprises. They also make a bad trans joke that is now dated, but
Yes.
they
I remember that. I was like, I'm not going to write that in my notes.
and Andrew Lincoln, I guess, makes a bunch of surprises for him on his bachelor party, and he's like, no more surprises. And he's like, no surprises. They get married. Also, Andrew Lincoln, as the best man, is also the videographer, which honestly, as someone who does videography for weddings, like that'd be the worst thing to
Well,
be
he's
as the best
he's
man.
not the videographer though. He's videotaping, but he's not the videographer.
Never mind. Oh, you're right. Yes, I forgot about
This is
that.
great.
little
We don't
reference.
necessarily know that yet, but we see him videotaping, and Keira
Yes.
Knightley comes in looking beautiful. He videotapes the thing, and then I think we cut to funeral.
Well, we do get the big surprise at the wedding, don't we?
Yeah,
Or
we
no?
actually.
But do we get it right here?
We actually
Did we
see
switch
Hugh
over?
Grant first, and then they go back to the wedding.
Okay, we go to
Oh.
Hugh Grant. What's his drink?
His drink is
Beer.
Brew Grant. That's beer.
Yeah.
Another
Guys, I'm already
concoction
really
by
fucking
Chris.
stressed because I've already kind of. I'm trying to put faces to names.
Well, we're only
We're
3
also-
minutes in, and we've introduced like a quarter of the cast.
No.
Yeah.
I was like, you're actually gonna do this as a 2-part podcast. It's gonna be like Titanic, how
Honestly,
there's two.
It
There were
might, it,
two
might, it might have to
VHSs.
be a two-parter.
We've done only
We'll
a
see.
quarter? Are you kidding?
No, I
No,
don't know. Actually,
no.
no, I don't think
We're
that's
totally done
Oh,
like
thank God.
more than half the characters.
Okay. Good.
But yeah, we're introduced to Hugh Grant's character, who
Here.
is actually the incoming Prime Minister of London.
Shut the fuck
He's
up.
Welcome,
the
Prime
newly
No.
elected.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I'm sure. I think David Cameron was Prime Minister around this movie. I think he's supposed to kind of look like David Cameron, but
He kind of looks like Trudeau.
he does.
Hugh Grant?
He's got Trudeau-ness.
Well, he's got
Yeah.
the young
Curly
I don't know,
hair.
in terms of
He's got
leaders, where a lot of
charm
them
and
are like
hair.
really old, not really old men, but like
Yeah.
Older.
plus 60.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's like,
And that's what they do. They're kind of
younger
like
Prime Minister.
he makes a joke out of it, but he's like the first. He's like single. He has no family. It's just him in the Prime Minister's quarters. And
He has no family.
And this is actually one of my favorite meet cutes in the whole movie.
it is, yeah.
Why?
Tell us about it, Chris.
Well, because so he's introduced to his staff, and there's only 3 of them, and that's fine.
No,
but
there are more down the hall.
Oh, okay. Well,
if you look down the hall, you could see like they're standing in little groups of 3 for some reason.
Okay, that's weird.
really
I didn't
funny.
catch that, but you're right. But anyway, the third person, I guess, is like his receptionist, I want to say.
It's like
They fall in love.
Yeah, it's like his administrative assistant, not administrative, but like his main
Catering
assistant.
manager.
He does call her his catering manager at some point, but
Yeah.
yeah, sure, catering manager.
They just say
Um,
she's new, like you.
Yeah, and
They
then
don't say what she does.
she says shit, and then she's like, "Oh no, now I've said shit. Oh no, I've said it twice." And then he's like, "Oh, as long as you didn't say fuck."
Holy
and then
shit,
she's like,
holy
"Yeah,
shit.
I thought he was gonna say fuck." And then they both say fuck, and it's so cute. I love it.
Yeah.
I keep thinking I see somebody walking past in the distance and there's no one there and I'm really fucking freaked out now. Continue.
Alenka hasn't left Spooky Movie
I'm
Month
just going to keep
since
watching that
we
area,
finished
but
it.
you guys just continue.
Okay.
If you see anything behind me, Alenka, you let me know. Okay.
Like this sounds like a very cute moment, but I might get killed. So actually, it sounds very cheesy. I'm not sure I like this.
No, it's a great meet cute.
Is it?
Yeah, it shows
That's
how
pretty
he's
good.
not a traditional British prime minister.
Sure.
And she's like a
What you mean?
she's like a rough
you
around
mean
the edges type
a
person in like
traditional
a really
British
high status.
Prime Minister would never hit on his receptionist?
No,
that what you're
that he says
saying?
like I'll laugh at you saying fuck.
Okay,
Yeah,
I missed it.
No.
it's fine. Well, we have to move on because there's the majority of this movie left to go.
Yeah, there
I
is.
don't know.
We're back to the wedding.
Yeah.
We're back
We
to
go
the
back
wedding.
to the wedding.
They've said I do. They're They're kissing. They're walking down the aisle to leave.
I don't
And
like
then
this.
you hear the music, they're like, "Brr, brr, 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 brr," that like fades out. And then you hear like, love, love, love. And these curtains open at the top half of like the second level of the church. And there's like a full choir there. And they're singing, love, love, love. And then this man comes out and he starts singing All You Need Is Love by the Beatles.
Sure.
This like really beautiful cover of it. And then like as the song keeps going, like when they're like, all you need is love, someone like stands up from the audience with a trumpet, and then people stand up with like different instruments with flutes and like a tuba, I want to say, or like there's one that's a
Heavy.
bigger one, or no, trombone. There's a trombone.
Yikes.
So they're just coming up, and this was the friends he'd been like, no surprises, right? And he looks back at Andrew, and Andrew's like, well, sorry, and like keeps filming, giving him this beautiful send off.
At first I thought the singer was Seal, but then
Cool.
I did not see the face scar, so it was not Seal.
Right.
They kind of react as if it's a famous person,
Yeah,
but
so
I don't
I'm always
think it's
wondering,
a famous person.
No, like I don't think, because they do. Because I like watching movies with subtitles, so they point at one of the trumpeters or one of the guitarists, and they go, "Oh," and they say a name like Neil or something, like they know the guy, but like, is that what? I don't know. I think it's a cameo of some band that was slightly popular in 2003 in Britain.
Maybe.
Yeah,
We'll
this
never
movie
know.
needs cameos of famous people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
the one thing missing.
Yeah. Okay. So big wedding
and
surprise.
now, oh wait, now we're at the funeral, right?
Yikes. Tone just shifted.
Yeah.
There's a pretty important thing that happens first.
Ooh, yes.
Because we see Colin Firth and Laura Linney at the wedding.
Oh, yes.
And then we see Firth leave, and he leaves like the second that ceremony's over. He's not sticking around for an after party.
Huh.
And he goes home to be with his sick girlfriend and or wife.
Right.
And what did I write here? She's fucking his brother.
Knew it. I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Yeah. Specifically, he walks in, his brother's there, and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And he's like, came to grab some CDs." And she's like, he's all like, "Oh, the lady of the house let you in, eh?" And he's like, I was thinking we should take mom out for her birthday next week. And as he's talking, he just hears his wife or his girlfriend. Yes, you do it from a distance.
Hurry up, big boy. I'm naked and I want you at least twice before Jamie gets home.
Ooh.
That's gross.
And
And
they
then the
just
brother
look
just
at each
goes,
other.
"Ooh," and gives this big, like, wide-eyed, like, "Oh, what did I do?" Look.
That sounds so comical, but that is such a disgusting scenario. Like
It's very sad.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
very
like don't
sad.
cheat, but don't cheat with the person's family member. Like, come on.
well, I mean in general.
Oh no, that's what I said. Don't cheat, but like really,
But
with
like, if you're gonna cheat, don't do his brother.
yeah,
Sure.
And pretend to be sick to do
don't break
him.
up an entire family,
Right.
Like,
But I mean,
like
it
your
was
brother.
probably the family that broke each other up anyways. Am I right?
probably, yeah.
What?
Well, because
And
the
then we're back to
brother's
the
the
wedding.
asshole. The brother's the asshole. That's like,
we're
oh
back
yeah.
to the wedding again.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, we have to go back to the wedding because it does happen next, and I'm really excited about this bit because we're back with Muffin Guy, the guy who was giving out muffins and telling people to try his tasty nuts at
Yes.
the office. Now he's a caterer at the wedding, passing around canapes.
Who's this fucking guy?
And he's being sexual with those and harassing everyone at the wedding. It's great. He's a very deep character. Then he goes and he talks to his like best friend, who was the guy directing at the movie set that Martin.
Well, no, but isn't the first time we see him on set is after this scene, isn't it?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, you might be
Yeah.
right. I thought he was in. You're right.
This is one thing I noticed is that this movie doesn't like interconnect, like, oh, one person meets another person and then we're on to the next storyline of that person. It only does that with these two guys. He meets up with his friend, and then the next scene is almost always Martin Freeman's scenes.
You're entirely right.
Yeah.
But basically, what he tells his friend is, British women are too prudish that they're never going to have sex with me. I have to go to America where every woman is promiscuous and they will have sex with me.
This is
Wait,
true.
well, first he goes up and tries to hit on a woman, and he's like, "Do you want this food?" And she's like, "No, thanks." And he's like, "Yeah, I know, it's gross, isn't it? Blah, blah, blah." And then asks her what she does, and it turns out she's the caterer who catered the wedding and he just insulted her food. So his response is obviously that British women are too stuck up, and not that maybe you shouldn't just like shit talk people if you don't know who you're talking to.
Yeah, or in general.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't learn a single lesson throughout this film. Spoiler alert.
Damn.
This is maybe my least favorite plot line.
Yeah, he gets rewarded for his.
Oh yeah.
One of three least favorite plot lines. We'll get to them as we go, why they're problematic.
Okay.
But
the writer was just like, what if we have a
continue,
plot
Chris.
line that wasn't cute?
yeah, exactly.
They should.
So he talks to his friend who's now the friend is there because he also works for the catering company, or he just is like is he a production manager for big weddings as well? Like, what does he do?
No,
that's true. I don't know why he's there. He's just hanging out in the back.
Anyway,
because he's meeting. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
That's the plot hole. But he meets his friend and talks to him, and then the next scene we cut to is back on set, and then we see the same friend on set. So that's why I'm like, is this presumably the same day? Is this tomorrow? When is it? We don't know, but it's the same set. And now Martin Freeman and Just Judy, they're like half naked. She still has her pants on, but they're simulating sex, and they hold like a light meter up to her like exposed breasts to like get the light. It's a funny scene because they're just casually talking about like the traffic getting there while he's like cupping her breasts and they're simulating sex.
But I mean,
They're probably one of the
everybody's
best
boobs are
storylines.
different. So how could they possibly get the lighting right for that curvature?
That's a good point. Well, I would imagine that they're similar enough body doubles,
sure,
as they
To the
need to be
actors,
for the lighting.
Yeah.
Fine.
They're also having sex in what looks like a Greek bathhouse. I don't even know what this set is.
It is a
Cool.
beautiful like palace. Like, it's like, where is?
Are we
this
sure it's
movie
not for
set?
a porno? That seems.
We're not positive.
We're not sure. No.
It must be the remake of Caligula, actually. Now that I think about the set, it is pretty big. It's pretty grand.
Don't know what this movie is. Stop bringing it up.
I don't know if we'll ever do
So
that
yeah,
movie.
they kind of have this juxtaposition of being these kind of very cute, awkward characters, but they're doing these like very sexual things as they're being like, oh, what do you think of the new prime minister? Oh, he's nice.
Oh, Martin
Sure.
Sleeman, by the way. This is his scene. We got to drink.
Martin Sleeman.
Oh yeah. It's very cute, very light. Now we're at a funeral.
Yes, now we're at a funeral, and it's Liam Neegin's wife, Gin.
I'm not.
Go.
I can't drink the gin.
Oh fuck yeah.
It's his wife's funeral. It's very fucking sad. Again, everyone's wearing big jackets. Everyone's cold in this fucking church. We also see his stepson. No drink name, but if we were doing all alcohols, I would have called this guy Thomas Brody Sangria.
Oh yeah, that's good.
What's his name?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I don't get it.
Thomas Brody Sangster.
Okay.
That's the little kid actor.
Sangster's also a type of rum, which is what I thought when I was going through it. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just not going to think of it too hard about it.
He's a kid. He can't drink, so he doesn't get a drink name.
Right.
Also, though, fun fact, when this movie was filmed, just always, he and Keira Knightley are only like 4 or 5 years age difference.
Oh, yeah. She's only like 17.
She was, I think, 18 in the movie, and he's like,
what?
No, I thought it was
How
like she
young
was
is
like,
Keira
well, I
Knightley?
guess
That's
in Britain,
2003?
16
Oh,
is the age of consent, apparently, but like she was 17 because that's what it was like. It was she was under 18 in this movie.
When was Pirates of the
in the
Caribbean?
movie, they say that he's. Yeah, she was really young in that.
Oh,
Yeah,
Like 17, I think.
wow,
Maybe 18.
I think she's just 17 every year. Right?
she's just never not been
quite
17.
old.
But in the movie, they say that he's 11.
But like
Okay.
the actor's actual age
Oh, okay.
was 13.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Because
Yeah.
in the sequel, they actually, for whatever reason, say he was 12. Maybe his birthday was like sometime in the 5 weeks leading up to Christmas.
Probably.
Maybe, yeah.
Yes. Or they didn't like really think it through. I feel like a lot of these things potentially were not thought through.
No,
I feel like
not
they
at
just
all.
wrote this movie on a whim. They just threw it all together in a night.
Yes.
I
Basically.
don't actually think that.
Aw.
But it's it's sad, and it's clear from his little eulogy is that it's she had like cancer or a long-term illness, and they planned a long time for this funeral. And he jokes about she had many requests, one of which was him bringing Claudia Schiffer as his date. Clock that, keep that in mind.
Tick tick.
As
clocked
well
it.
as But one of the things
That was a
that
bad
he
joke, I'm
jokes
sorry.
about not being able.
Yeah, you don't
One
need
of
to
the
clock
things-
it this time, but the next time we reference Claudia Fisher, definitely.
Yeah. And then she wants the Bay City Rollers Bye Bye Baby played at her funeral. So it's like that song plays and everyone's all sad and crying while it plays. Emma Hopson is also there. So drink a beer.
Oh,
I hope people are following along at home.
Yeah.
me too.
So yeah.
And then that
funeral or wedding.
sound transitions us to, so they're carrying out the casket to bye bye baby, baby goodbye. And it's very sad. And then we switch to the wedding playing the same song.
Yeah. In the
and-
evening.
Yeah, and they're dancing, doing the dance stuff.
And this
And
is
then-
all taking place 4 weeks before Christmas, right? Is that
I think it's
the
like
first?
6. I think it
This
starts
is 6 weeks. Yeah,
I
this
thought
is 6
the first
weeks.
time we see a thing at the bottom, it says 5 weeks.
Okay, so it's
But I could
5
be
weeks.
wrong because I definitely missed the
In
2
between
weeks
4,
mark,
in
if that
between
was even
6.
Yeah,
I know it's more than a month, but yeah, you might
Yeah.
be right that it's 5.
let's say 5. Let's just go with 5.
Okay.
So they're carrying the casket. Then what? I feel like I missed
So
this.
we're at the dance.
Oh yeah.
They're dancing. You see Rick Grimes is sitting, still videotaping the happy couple. And Laura
And your
Linney.
drink and pick your own drink.
Oh,
Drink.
Sorry.
And Laura Linney comes over and sits next to him.
Laura
It
Ginny.
seems-
God
Okay, I'm
damn
gonna
it,
stop
wow.
doing that.
Jesus.
Oh boy.
I'm stressed. I'm drinking the same thing.
We took already like a 2.5 hour movie and added the longest drinking game to it.
You know what? We're not. You know what? Only if it's their storyline will we drink. That's
Thank
the new rule from
God.
now on.
Great. So Laura Linney comes over and she just is kind of like, "Are you in love with him?" And he's like, "Oh, what?" And she's like, "Oh, just in case you needed someone to talk to about it." And he's like, no, and then he seems like he's going to say something and he decides not to. And he's just like, "This DJ sucks, right? Worst ever." And she's like, "Oh yeah, probably." It all hangs in the next song. And then he plays a terrible song and they're both just like, he plays like, "And they call
Puppy
it
Love,"
Puppy
yeah.
Love. And they both just are like, "Yeah,
And he's
worst
so
DJ
into
ever."
it, that DJ. It's like probably the best role in the movie. They hold on that shot of him like grooving to the song for like a little, like for like 10 seconds too
That's
long.
intense.
But it's still funny.
10 seconds. Yeah. And then where do we go? Who do we need to meet?
I think it's the
We
office.
haven't even talked about Snape at all.
I know.
Yeah, we're
That's
in the
next
office
scene.
now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It cuts to the office, and it cuts to the office where Laura Linney works, and we were introduced to her boss, Alan Rickman or Alan Drinkman.
Nice.
So select your drink, whatever drink you want.
Mm.
Wild card. And this is one of the greatest oversteps of a boss in history. He like calls in Laura Linney and he's like, shut the door. And he's like, "How long have you been working here?" And she's like, "Well, 2 years, 3 months, and 2 hours?" And he's like, "And how long have you been in love with Carl?" And it's like, and she's like, 2 years, 6 months, and an hour and 30 minutes or something. And he's just like, "You need to fuck him." Basically, that's what he's telling her to do. Like, it's a weird interaction between a boss and his employee.
They're
I'll say that
close. You don't know.
And that's an overstep.
No,
That's
they're close.
borderline harassment.
He's like, "Just tell him you want to have lots of sex and babies. It's Christmas. Do it for all of us."
What?
It's
Yeah.
like kind of cute because
like,
then it seems
everyone
like
in
they
the
have this
office
friendly
knows.
thing. Yeah, but
Yeah.
Will's right. It's kind of
They're
it's one of those things that's cute in a
friends.
movie, but if it happened in real life, you would be like, "What the
Are
fuck?"
you sure
Like,
they're
on
not
office
friends?
time? You're telling her to. I mean,
They're
they're
never
friendly.
together again throughout the film.
Yeah,
okay.
That's true. That's true.
Okay.
It's the
And there's
only
lots of
interaction.
opportunities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like,
And,
"Go fuck Carl for all our sakes."
yeah.
Weird.
And Carl is their chief of engineering or something. His chief. They're
Yeah,
an ad agency,
smart.
aren't they? Though, like, what are they?
I don't know, because it looked like he had blueprints at one point.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know.
Oh yeah, and then he
also-
comes in as she's leaving, and they bump, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, hi, Carl. Hi, Sarah." And like he looks like a model. Like,
Oh yeah,
we would all be in love with Carl
Well,
if
he's
we worked with him.
Xerxes from the movie 300.
is that
Huh?
him?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I did
Who's
not know
that?
that.
Yeah.
Wow,
It's fine.
I haven't
he's
seen
an
300.
actor.
He's a Brazilian actor. He's very attractive. I don't
Handsome
know his
boy.
name in real life. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's very famous in Brazil, I think, actually.
Oh.
Big in Brazil.
That's
The
good.
boys from Brazil.
Trying to make it out to North America, I see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he succeeded.
Yeah. He went to across the pond first and then came back over.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of
and
movie to
then-
get through. Stop it.
Laura Linney's phone rings and she answers it. Also, when she was going into the office, Snape was like, "Turn off your phone." So now we've seen twice that there's something with her phone ringing a lot.
Mhm.
And she tells
And she,
Mia,
well, she says, "Hey, babe." She
Yeah.
says that, which is we're led to believe is someone close to her.
Like a
Yeah.
boyfriend.
and she tells Mia, Snape's sexy secretary, to like turn down the radio. And she's like, "What is that?" And then we cut to the radio broadcasting place. And it was, they were playing Christmas is All Around that we heard them recording at the beginning.
Come on.
And the
Yeah.
radio host is like, "Well, that's a friggin' old guy trying to get a comeback. What a piece of shit song."
Nice.
And his co-host is waving like, "No, no." And he's like, "Oh, and I see that my co-host is interviewing him in 10 minutes." And
So
he's
stay
like in
tuned.
the studio.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
So we're back with Bill Rye-ghy. Take a
Aw.
drink. This is his storyline, and
Sure
this is
is.
part of the rules now. So he's being interviewed by the radio host, and the radio host is trying to be like, it's just kind of like it's like, this is dumb, like this is a shitty song. You're trying to make a comeback, but like Bill Nighy is like giving a truthful answer to all his questions because Bill Nighy admits that the song is shit and it's like the worst thing ever. But he makes the point is like, but wouldn't you love an aging, drug addicted rock star to be number one on Christmas instead of some boy band who will have his choice of any woman sort of thing?
No, I could care
'cause
less.
the radio
actually.
host. The radio host at the beginning is asking him a legitimate question. He's like, "Oh, you and I both know this song is crap." And the radio host's like, "Wow, thanks for giving a real answer. No one ever does that." And he's like, "Yeah, ask me anything you want. I'll tell you." This is one of my favorite jokes because he's like, "Best shag of your life." And he goes, "Britney Spears." And you see his manager to be like, "Oh, no." And
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, wow." And then Bill Nighy goes, "No, I'm just kidding. She was rubbish."
Oh, no.
It was just a very fun little bit.
And he says, it's like, he basically he says something like, he asks Bill Nighy, he's like, "Well, who do you have for Christmas or something?" Like a loved one. He's like, "I have no one to love this Christmas except for my fat manager."
Aw. They're in
Kind of admits that
love.
he's lonely.
Oh.
Yeah. He's like, "When I was young, I went all out, and now I'm wrinkled and alone with nobody."
Yikes.
Mhm.
Yeah. But it's made clear here that like there's a race to the number one Christmas song
Yeah.
that's going to be important.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks that's going to be it.
Yeah.
Yikes.
He says,
Christmas
"Wouldn't it be
is
great if
all
it
around
was?"
me,
All around me.
and let the feeling
and-
grow.
Yeah, and this is where he's like, and look at this part where we try to fit more syllables in than than work. And he's like, "Oh, I think you're referring to the line, and if you really love Christmas, come on and let it snow." And Bill Nighy's just like, "Rubbish. It's just rubbish."
That's pretty funny. He's sad.
Yeah.
Where do we go now, Chris?
Yeah. You're the master of
Now
the
we're back
notes.
to Hugh.
Brew.
Oh, back to Hugh.
Ooh,
Back
back
to
in the
Brew.
White
Back to
House.
Brew
Grant.
Grant.
So they're back to Brew Grant. He's prepping for basically the president of the United States is coming, and they're prepping for that visit. And it's clear that all of his cabinet thinks that he's going to be like weak-willed, like he's not going to stand up for anything Britain does. And he's like, "No, we can't seem like a petulant child. We're going to be courteous but clever," and they're all rolling their eyes like, "Oh, this guy's not going to be like a powerful politician." And then he does make the joke. He's like, "Who do you have to screw to get a biscuit around here?"
Biscuit.
Yeah, I wrote that down.
Enter his catering manager, who
Yeah.
we met earlier. And he goes,
Yeah.
Her.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We forgot to mention when
Natalie.
he first meets the catering manager, he gets into his office. They have like the moment he gets into this office and he just goes, he's like, fuck, that's inconvenient or something. Like, what is that what he says? That's inconvenient. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
He's like, God damn it, I'm so attracted to my employee.
Yeah. Like, he's
I'm
like,
gonna
"That's
make a
inconvenient."
mistake.
Yeah.
That's
I'm not going to be focused on the job anymore.
ugh.
Then we're back to Martin Sleeman
Martin
and
Sleeman.
Just Judy.
Just Judy.
I
And
don't know
they're
what
in the middle.
happens
I think
now.
they're in the middle
Does
of the
he ask
same
her out?
shoot. Yeah. He kind of asks her out. Yeah.
Not yet.
Or is
He
that
doesn't ask her
later?
out yet.
Okay.
It's a very brief scene. They just keep talking on set. It's very unprofessional.
Yeah.
This time they're both naked though.
Yeah. She's like, fake
Is this the one
blowing
where
him,
he's
right?
like, what do you think of the prime minister? And she's like, I don't know why he's not married though.
I don't
I
know
think so,
why.
yeah.
Maybe that's this.
Yeah, because the transition from the prime minister to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we're back to Muffin Guy. He says he's going to Wisconsin.
Oh,
I think we
cheese.
can
yeah.
breathe.
Wisconsin
they're
babes.
they're just driving in a car, and he's like, but that's what I'm saying. Like they connect him. They always connect like those two guys, like their storylines. They jump to Wisconsin guy, but they never really connect everyone else's in that same storytelling way.
You're
that
totally
much?
right. I didn't catch
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Well, because sometimes it's the music that takes us in between
That's
scenes.
true.
Well,
That's true.
I've
That's
already
true.
done it twice.
Yeah.
That's true.
Idiot.
I am trying to think this is like the greatest movie ever, but it's not. It's really
I mean, it's pretty friggin' good. Then we're back to Alan Drinkman, and
Ooh,
his
choose your drink.
Yeah, and this is when he's trying to plan the Christmas party with his secretary.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, it's your shitty job to do. It's the worst. I hate Christmas. I'm Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
And she is so obviously like flirty.
Huh.
And he makes a weird also comment where he's like, oh God, he's like, he's like families, not kids, husbands, wives, boyfriends or girlfriends. And then he's like, oh God, you don't have some tight t-shirt idiot boyfriend to bring there, do you? Or something like that. I forget what he says exactly, but
It's very
that's pretty much it.
specific.
It's pretty much it. And she's
Yeah.
like, no, I'm just going to be standing under the mistletoe waiting to be kissed. And she says it very like sensually. And he's kind of like, oh.
Yeah, he just tugs on his collar like, oh boy.
Ooh, what a predicament. There is a couple. I never really put together that there's two different storylines of like flirting between a boss and an employee. Because we see that with the prime minister and we're seeing
yes,
that
that's
here.
true. Yeah.
But one's portrayed as more cute and this one's portrayed not as cute, as more like sexy and dirty.
Yeah. Because are we introduced at this point?
We don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And never mind. So that's that scene. That's it. It's so quick fire. So many things jump.
Yeah, and then we're back to Liam and Emma Watson.
Yeah. So Liam Neegin. Drink a gin.
No, I refuse.
I'm going through
And
this gin real quick.
Emma Hopson, drink beer.
Oh.
They enter Liam Neeson's house, and they're good friends. They're not related, familiar. They're just like good friends, although you never really find out exactly.
I think their kids go to school together.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's how they know each other or if that's coinky dink.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
they're good friends.
Yeah. So they're like hanging out in his kitchen, and he's like, oh, I'm worried about Sam. That's the stepson. Thomas Brody Sangria. He's worried about him. He's like never leaves his room, and when he does, he notices he's been crying. He's like he could be injecting heroin into his eyeballs. And then she's like,
Rob's not.
he's 11, and he's like, you're right. It's probably just his veins.
That's a dumb joke.
And he's like, when he comes out,
That's a bad one.
and when he comes out of his room, I can tell he's been crying. And then Liam Neeson starts crying. And then Emma Watson like holds his hand. And then she's just like, fucking stop crying. People hate sissies, which I think is not a helpful way to talk to someone whose wife just died.
Right.
He's just like, keep it together. People hate sissies. No one's going to shag you if you're crying all the time. But it's a terrible message, but also it shows their like jokey relationship because she's constantly joking about his wife's death. But I guess he appreciates that.
Poor coping mechanism.
I mean, she had a long-term illness. They had a long time to prepare for this, but I guess you're never really prepared, are you?
No. Well,
Oof.
fuck. Idiots.
I got real there for a second.
Basically, we go from Liam Neeson's storyline to Liam Neeson's storyline, which is, I think, the only time in this movie that this happens.
It's true.
Because
Yeah,
now
yeah.
it's him talking with his stepson, Sam?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a stepson.
With some dramatic ass music. It's so dramatic.
Why?
The
And they're
music is really
staring
weird in this whole
out at,
movie.
like,
yeah.
On a pier or some shit. There was actually a whole deleted scene here where he tries to go watch Claudia Schiffer porn. And then
Really?
yeah, and then it like all these ads take over his screen, and then someone walks in, like his parents or something, and he asks Sam to like cover for him, and then he's taking Sam out to like give him money or something to help. He was like, "If you take the fall for this, I'll like give you money." None of that made into the actual movie, but
Is that
we just
on the DVD, though? With, like, the
Yeah.
DVD extras?
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
There's this
I
whole
mean,
deleted.
I gotta
Plot.
see that, but I'm glad they cut it.
She was not a porn star, was she?
I think she's just a model.
Yeah. All right. Oh, he's just trying to masturbate to underwear photos.
Yeah, but there's like Claudia Schiffer like fucking an elephant or something, so it's probably
That
like
can't be in Love Actually.
It could be.
there's something
That's
about her
one of the
having
love
sex with an
stories.
animal. Like it's obviously not her. It would have been like a lookalike or a fake porno.
Okay.
But anyway,
I can see
none
why
of
they
that's
cut
in the
that.
movie. But that's how they end up on the pier. But we don't know
That's how
that
I end up there.
because he just took him out to get him money from an ATM or something. But cut to, they're on a pier. We don't know anything about Claudia Schiffer porn. And he's trying to ask Sam what's wrong.
Yeah.
Chris, you go.
I feel like I'm just the guy that's going to tell you what scene's next, and I won't comment on it.
That's my rule.
I feel like I want to hear you comment more.
Yeah, I want
All right,
to hear
Liam
you.
Neeson's trying to find out what's wrong with Sam. It turns out Sam's not sad about his dead mom. He just has a crush on a girl at school.
Oh my god. Come on.
Yeah.
No,
He's like,
that's
I am
legit.
sad about mom, but I'm in love.
Yeah, the absolute, like, he's like, oh, I thought it was something worse. What's worse than the absolute agony of love?
Ew. This is
Love.
dumb.
And then Liam
Oh my
Neeson's all
God.
like, yeah, you're right.
I'm sorry.
Disrespectful.
Well, it's worse because they're British. I'm not going to lie to you. It is worse because they're British.
Great.
Makes it cheesier.
You heard it here, folks.
It's not because it's
Haven't seen a podcast is anti-British.
No, that,
You
yeah,
just
you're
lost
right.
all your
That
British
definitely out of context. My brain was like, "Oh, the lines are way cheesier because they're English speaking." It just makes it sound cheesier because I'm envisioning like a
It's
Shakespearean.
It's also maybe because you're hearing them in a bad accent.
Yes.
Is probably part of it.
Also, Liam Neeson is Irish, I think.
and he does
Yeah,
action.
He's Irish.
None of this love stuff.
I mean, he was an action star later in life. He was much more drama. Maybe not rom-com.
Stop it. He does.
I've never
action.
seen Schindler's List. Is that an action film?
I don't know.
That's a rom-com.
No, it's not. He's in that.
Yes.
I think so.
I don't know.
Isn't he Schindler?
I don't know what that means.
Let's say yes.
Yeah.
So this kid's being.
So then he's vows Liam. Yeah. Liam Neeson vows to help his stepson, win this girl over somehow.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then quick scene of Laura Linney not hitting on Carl.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh yeah,
That's when
she's
he's
putting on
leaving
all
the
this
she's
office.
makeup.
dressed.
Yeah.
She's just like, oh.
Well, she's
Yes.
just like, they're like the last two people in the office, and she's like putting on a bunch of makeup so that when he walks by and he's like, good night, she's like, good night, Carl. And she has all this makeup on just to say good night to him.
Yikes.
Yeah.
A
And
facade.
I'm drinking gin because of it.
Oh.
Oh
damn
yes,
it.
yes.
I will not.
Cheers.
That Laura Ginny. What's our next scene, Chris? Rapid fire.
All
Also,
right,
at what point is this still now 4 weeks now? 4 weeks till Christmas or 3
Good
weeks?
God.
we haven't gotten to the 3-week mark yet.
Okay, so we're 4 weeks from Christmas, I'm going to
Okay.
say.
Still 4 weeks.
I forgot
But
this
we're
is about
close.
Christmas.
Yeah, we're getting close. Yeah, you do kind of forget after a while.
This is where we see what Colin Firth is up to, or Tom Collins Firth is up to.
Right.
Tom Collins, yeah. Yeah,
So
so
that's
he's
true, but- yeah.
he's opening the windows and dusting off the couches in this old place, and he opens the windows and he's in not England.
Oh.
And definitely not winter.
Oh.
He's okay. Is he in Spain or southern France?
I think it's supposed to be France because he starts speaking French at first.
Yeah.
Could just be his thing.
And
Could be different.
yeah.
So
That tourist
someone comes to be like, who I presume owns the property or maintains the property, and she's like, "Oh, you're here again this year. You're staying until Christmas." He's like, "Yep." And she's like, "Oh, and the young lady's coming with you this time." And he's like, "Oh, nope, just me." And she's like, "Oh, am I sad or not sad?" And he's like, I don't think we're surprised. And she's like, "I found this girl to clean the house for you." And this is because he says bonjour to her, and she says bonjour back. And then he tries to speak French, but he's really bad at it. But the woman's like, "She doesn't speak French, just like you. She's Portuguese." And he tries to say a few things to her, but he's speaking multiple languages. And the woman is making fun of him for not being able to speak 3 languages.
Yeah.
I hate to be that guy, but we skipped like 6 scenes until we get there.
Come on.
Really?
We just see him. Oh, you're right. This is just him
we
opening.
just see him open some.
He's just opening
true.
doors, and then he says "alone" again.
Oh,
Naturally,
yeah. And he sits down at a typewriter with plastic over it, and he's going to start because he's a writer.
I'm so
he's gonna
sorry,
start
Chris.
writing.
I'm so sorry. I
It's
ruined
totally
your flow.
fine. There's just a few of these scenes where we're just reminded that this is one of the 10 storylines we're following. And I'm not making up that number. We're legitimately following 10 storylines.
I can see why you went and started your own sketch group. All right.
Oh, man. That was mean.
So good. All right.
Ooh.
Okay. We're back to Brew Grant hitting on
Grant.
Natalie.
Fine.
Natalie is his managing catering manager.
Right.
Yeah. What scene is this? I can't remember.
I think he's like, he just asked her about herself. He's like, I feel weird us working together and I don't know anything about you. And she's like, well, there's not really much to know.
Yes.
Weird. You're a whole human being, lady. There's tons to know about you.
Tamlynn, you're right. It is him asking her about her. Like, that's basically how he sets it up. And then he literally just asks where she lives and nothing else.
And if she lives with her boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's where he's leading
That's such a nice, that's...
But she describes in great detail where she lives.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Without giving
the
the
dodgy
address.
end?
Wait, what?
The dodgy end. And also introduces the big problematic part, like one of the problematic parts of the movie that people criticize, and that her she doesn't have a boyfriend. Her ex-boyfriend told her she was super fat all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, those relationships
Legs the size of tree
exist,
trunks.
so I would say
it's
not unfair to bring it up.
Yeah, but then it is an ongoing...
It's the way it's handled later. Yeah, I think this scene is fine because she's being like, this guy was an asshole and said he broke up with me because I was fat.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, and Hugh Grant's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
He makes a joke about he can hire the SA or call on the SAS to kill him if she needs.
That's very aggressive.
Yeah. Which, like, again, in this scene, I feel like the context is all great, but they're like, hey, remember that horrible story that she told him earlier? Let's make that a reoccurring joke throughout the rest of the film.
Exactly.
Yes. Let's make it a joke that people keep calling her fat.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm stressed.
Then we're back to Liam Neeson and Sam, and Liam Neeson literally says you're fucked. I'm pretty sure that's the wording he
Yeah.
Perfect.
They do. There's a lot of swearing
like that this
in
girl will
movie.
never love him.
Why?
Yeah, Sam's like, she doesn't even know I exist. Like, she's one of the most popular girls in school. She's heaven and everyone loves her. And like, I'm nothing. And Liam Neeson's like, well, you're basically fucked, aren't you?
Okay.
Yeah. And they're both in, pajama robes, bath robes. And they're like, we need Kate and we need Leo right now.
Okay.
And so they watch Titanic.
Right.
Again, that's later, but...
Really?
Yeah.
God
Again,
damn it.
some of these notes I made were just like, this is a thing that's happening now. I gotta write it down.
All right.
so sorry.
It's just a little bit of I'm sad. Liam Neegin, drink your gin.
Liam Neegin.
Next scene.
Then we're back to Bill Nighy, whose name in the movie, I believe, is Bill. So it's one of those things where they both work.
Billy Mack. Yeah.
Billy Mack.
And this scene is, he's on
the
set.
talk show?
The talk show, with the two hosts from Britain's Got Talent or whatever.
He makes science experiments.
Yeah. He makes sense.
Yep, he wants to have the #1 science experiment this Christmas.
Yeah.
And these hosts are they look so nervous because basically Bill Nighy has been going around on all these news outlets just being like super open and super, not like, good for broadcast. And he just is saying a lot of really open and lewd things the whole time.
Although some of it's just very
So
kind
why do they keep
stuff.
having
like,
him back?
They're like, so this is
No,
a
this is
different
This is a TV show.
talk show.
Yeah.
Yes, my bad. I
Yeah.
meant, why do they continue to book him?
These are questions.
Yeah,
For ratings. It's the same
For
reason
famous
that people
people,
put Donald
yeah.
Trump on TV.
Oh,
Exactly. Yeah.
I understand.
But some of the stuff he says is nice. Like they set up that this other group, Blue, that's the main competition for the #1 Christmas song. And Bill's like, I saw them on the show. They weren't very nice about me. And the hosts are like, no, they weren't. And he's like, but they're very talented artists. And they're like, they're surprised by him being nice. They're like, no, you're supposed to shit talk each other. He says he has a felt tip pen as like a prize for the audience. And then he writes on the Blue poster, we've got little pricks. And then he tells the kids, don't do drugs, become a pop star, and they buy you them for free.
And
Or
now
they
we're
give you
3
them for
weeks.
free.
Yeah, now we're 3
Yes.
weeks from Christmas.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, we are 3 weeks from Christmas. Also, that was Bill Rye-ghy.
Bill
Oh yeah,
Rye-ghy.
yeah. Thank you.
3 weeks till Christmas, right?
That is
3 weeks till
correct.
Christmas.
3 weeks
That's
till
what they say.
Christmas.
And we got Rick Grimes standing in front of some boobs with Santa hats over the nose.
Yeah.
Really?
Andrew Drinkin, choose your drink.
What? I'm so confused.
So this is the point we're introduced to that.
So he's in like an art gallery.
Yeah, the whole time
With boobies.
the whole movie, I'm like, what do all these people do sometimes? Other than obviously Billy Mack is an artist and Tom Collins Firth is a writer. Everyone else, I'm like, I don't know what they actually do or where they work or why. But Andrew Lincoln seems to be some sort of art gallery curator, manager, guy, man. Yeah.
Yeah. And Beer
And
and
it's an
Nightly.
exhibit. Oh.
It is, yeah.
No, you can go ahead.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's an exhibit of nudity and Santa hats, basically. So it's pictures of like boobs with hats on them, guys with their butts, and they're wearing a Santa hat on their head. That is the concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's some kids
Yeah.
there, and they're giggling, and Rick Grimes, aka Andrew Drinkin, says it's not funny, it's art, because those
Ugh.
things are mutually exclusive.
Yeah. He's very pretentious. And then he gets a call from Chiwetel Rye-jofor. I haven't
Chewbacca.
seen him in a while, so give me a drink of rye.
Yeah,
And he's like, Beer Knightley is going to call you. Something about the wedding video. She's having troubles. Be nice to her. And it's kind of like he's not nice to her, I guess. That's what we find out. He's kind of rude to her all the time. So he's like, I'm nice. I will be nice to this Beer Knightley. And so she phones him. Also, I guess she is, what is she, a seamstress? So she works in fashion. She's covered in like clothes and, cloth.
I never actually noticed what kind of office she was in. That's very interesting.
It's just her workshop of clothes and cloth, I guess. I always pay attention to like, what do these people do? Other
good
the
for
Prime
you,
Minister,
Will.
obviously. No, it's a pastime.
so yeah, Beer Knightley asks Andrew Drinkin if she can get some of his footage that he was taking at the wedding, because apparently their wedding photographer was not great and took some really shitty stuff, and she doesn't look good in any of it.
It all came out
Yikes.
blue.
Very
Yeah.
conceited.
And he's like, I didn't really take anything. And she's like, please, I just want one shot of me in a wedding dress. And he's like, okay, I'll look, but I probably wiped it. I probably don't even have it anymore.
And she's like, what the fuck, man? Why are you so mean to me? She doesn't say that, but her face says it all. It cuts to her. And she's
Right.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I hate this guy. That's that scene.
And then another quick scene of Alan Rickman with his secretary flirting with him again.
Are we
Cute.
still not introduced to Alan Rickman?
Nope.
The other? No? Wow. Okay.
And
There's
then this is
two
when
Alan
Firth
Rickmans?
meets.
No.
There's other elements of his storyline.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is when we meet Colin Firth's love interest,
New housekeeper.
Aurelia.
Aurelia. And
the Portuguese housemaid.
yes, yeah, she's Portuguese, but I thought she was Italian. I'm not great with that. It wasn't until I watched the sequel when she was like, I wish you spoke Portuguese, and then I was like, oh, she's Portuguese.
The woman says she speaks Portuguese.
I missed it. I was too busy writing notes. My notes were Rickman's
Yikes.
secretary seduces him.
Nice. Yeah.
How?
She
I think she like spreads her legs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. It's very just like just sits on her chair in the office with her legs spread open. You don't see anything. There's a skirt, but like it's very, very crude.
Yeah.
But anyways, no,
This
we're
is
on Collins Firth and the Portuguese and Aurelia.
Yeah. Portuguese, Aurelia.
And he's awkward and she's beautiful, so you know they're gonna fall in love. Nothing else needs to be said.
Right.
It's true. That's all you need. Awkwardness and beauty.
Yeah.
But specifically an awkward man and a beautiful woman seem to
Right.
be the trope. Although
key.
I will say Colin
And
Firth
that
is
is-
also a very attractive man.
Oh,
He
he
is,
is, and he's not always this awkward, but in
Oh,
this
yeah.
movie, yeah. And then
Is there scenes with them or no? Like,
What's
do we
that?
see? Do we see? That's just the scene where they're introduced. There's nothing else to that scene, right?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the woman's like, "Can you drive her home at the end of the day?"
Oh,
And he's
yes,
like,
yeah.
"Yes." And we see him driving her home, and he's kind of talking, even though she can't understand him, and he's being very awkward. And he's like, "The Sound of Silence. Who sang that? I think originally it was blah blah blah." And she's just kind of like looking at him, being like, "What is going on?" But she's kind of laughing, like, "What a kooky dude."
Dope. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
But
totally
also-
right. I missed that in my notes.
But also, does he own that house? Like, does he have a second vacation home in the south of France? That's his
What?
house? Okay.
I guess he's
I
a
think
very
this-
successful writer.
Yeah, he's a
I think
very
this is
nice
his-
rich man. He's going to drive
I'm
his
guessing
help
he's
home.
rented this place for like a month, but he's
Oh,
done this
okay.
before. That was the impression I got because she's like, "Oh, you're
Oh,
back
okay.
again." So it's
Yeah.
like he's taking like a writer's retreat.
Oh, okay.
He's renting this for an extended period of
I was
time.
going to say, it's kind of unbelievable that a guy who owns a second home in the south of France would voluntarily drive his help home. You know?
Well, he's got the hots for her.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true.
Would you
Rich
not?
Rich guys are mean unless they want something from
I
you,
forgot-
and then they'll be
forgot
nice
about
to
that.
you.
Forgot about that
Come
part.
on.
And then we're back in the British White House, or at least that's what I
Yes.
keep writing in my
The
notes.
British White House, yes.
That's funny.
I don't know what it's called. Sussex Drive, isn't it? Or no, that's
Parliament?
Canada,
No, that's
isn't
Ottawa.
it? That's Ottawa. Never mind.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
where we meet Billy Bob.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Did we give him a drink name?
No, we
I
didn't.
keep thinking
I
Billy
couldn't
Ray
think of one.
Cyrus. This is not him.
No.
So
But picture
beer.
Billy Ray Cyrus. Yeah.
Yeah. It's yeah. Billy Bob Thornton's just beer, or if we had whiskey, it could be like Texas whiskey. I think
I
it's
mean,
supposed
rye
to be
is
kind of.
whiskey, I guess.
That's
but-
true. Yeah.
but you're right. It's not Texas whiskey.
No.
So yeah, he's
we're-
the president of the United States.
Yeah. And is
Whoa.
he like? I guess he's supposed to be modeled like Bush, but not really. I don't know. He's a little too suave and intelligent to be Bush. But
Yeah, he's very like sleazy. Oh, and he makes a jab at like he left his wife, like the first lady, back home, but he's like, she would have been really lonely here because Hugh Grant's single, and he's like, oh yeah, I guess I've found
well, he
that.
literally goes, "Yeah, I'm
romance-
pathetic."
What?
And he's like, yeah, I've just found that
Who?
politics and Hugh Grant.
Says he's pathetic.
So the president, yeah, he's pathetic because he's an unmarried prime minister, which is unusual.
Unheard of. Yeah.
Okay.
And he's like, I just feel like politics and love or politics and women don't really go together. And Billy Bob Thornton's
Oh.
like, I've never found that. So he's kind of said to sleep. He's already like insulted Hugh Grant and then made like a kind of creepy comment.
Yeah. And
And
then there's a
then-
tense cabinet meeting between the president and his men and people and prime minister, and it's clear like the prime minister is just being a little wuss about it and not standing up. And
Also, when he
fighting-
passes Natalie in the hall, he's fully just is like, wow, how do you got anything done? Did you look at those? Did you see those pipes? Like,
Yeah,
like her
exactly.
arms?
yeah.
That's
See
what
those
pipes are,
ripped
are they
biceps?
not?
Oh, this movie single-handedly made me
pipes?
not like Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah. He's not a likable guy, I feel like, in general.
No, he's just playing himself. It's weird.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, we have tense cabinet meeting where it seems
which
like
they're
he's
discussing
pushing
vague
them around.
policy.
Yeah.
They don't even know what they're fucking talking about. It's all vague.
Yeah.
But they sit down for a drink at the end of the night and they're like, "Oh, that got a little bit intense." And Billy Bob's like, "Well, we have to have a hard line on all this vague stuff we're talking about. Nothing specific." And then the catering manager. What's her name is
Natalie.
Natalie, yes.
Well, Hugh Grant leaves to get one more thing that's very close to his heart, he says.
That's true.
And so he leaves to get one more policy or something, and Natalie goes in the room as he's leaving the room. And then when he comes back into the room, Billy Bob Thornton is like up close to her, like pulling. It looks like he's maybe just like kissed her neck, or he's like whispered something in her ear. He's like touching her face.
He's like abusing his power, which Hugh Grant is pissed about because that's what he wanted to do.
Right. Yeah.
Oh man, it's like, that's my game, motherfucker.
And Natalie looks like terrified.
Traumatized. Right.
Yeah. Well, she looks like. Does she look terrified? I guess she does. Yeah.
I think she looks
more
terrified. I don't know
embarrassed
if that's
than
what
anything,
Hugh Grant
but
gets.
it's true.
Yeah, she looks like. I feel like my interpretation is that Hugh Grant thought that this was like consensual, and I don't know how he would have thought that because she looks
jealous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and maybe not. Maybe that's not supposed to happen, but I don't think she looks like she liked it.
And actually, after that scene, I feel like Billy Bob is more modeled off like Clinton, because that very much looks like a Clinton and Lewinsky kind of like tableau
moment
there. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We get it, Will. You like politics.
Who doesn't?
Then he gives his press they give their mutual press conference.
Wow, we stay with this storyline for a while.
Yeah,
This
we
is
do.
like
It
4
doesn't-
scenes in a row.
It doesn't happen often.
I like this,
but when it
actually.
does,
I'm really
They do have
enjoying
to slow
this
the
where
pace
it's very
down sometimes.
linear.
They can't just be like boom, 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 boom. They have to go boom, 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 boom. You know? Yeah.
Keep going.
That's my rhythm of the scene.
who else wants to? We'll take this because you like politics.
Well, they do the press conference, and everyone's expecting Hugh Grant to just be a little wuss boy about everything.
Sure.
And he decides he's actually going to stand up for his country, and he's all like, and again, vague things. What are they even talking about? Are they talking about war? Are they talking about trade? Who knows? But he's just like, we're going to stand up for Britain's values, and the president should know that we're going to be better. That was very not British, but
but it's worded in a way that he's like, when the president tries to take things that aren't his, it's like kind of about the countries, but you can tell he's also just pissed that he kissed Natalie's face.
Yeah.
And he's like,
That's
Britain's
true,
great. We
So
have Harry
gross.
Potter and David Beckham, and he makes everyone laugh.
He doesn't actually
and
say
then
that,
everyone,
does he? He does. Wow.
Yeah, he does.
He does.
That's exactly
He
what he
says,
says.
we're a great country of this and this. Harry Potter, David Beckham's right foot. David Beckham's left foot. Ha 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 ha. And then he's
so
like,
charming.
we're going to be much
So
stronger
charming.
now. And the president should be prepared for that. And then it's like, do, 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 do. And everyone's like clapping. And everyone's like, yeah. Sorry, I stole your scene, Will. I also get excited about politics.
It's great. Yeah.
Did he
It's
also
a great scene 'cause
embezzle
it's
a
like,
lot of taxpayers'
he's
dollars?
the hero of the hour.
Oh,
I mean, probably.
Yeah.
most likely.
He probably paid $700
all the
in
charming
taxes.
ones do.
And then we continue to stay with the storyline. Well,
Yeah.
Emma
Wow.
Thompson calls him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Emma Hopson.
And Emma Hobson. Ooh, I just took a bit,
Thompson.
but I'll take another.
Oh.
Emma Hopson phones him because basically now, like, he's the talk of the town. Like, he stood up for Britain. He's like an amazing person.
Sure.
And we find out that like Emma Thompson's character, that's his sister. Her brother is the prime minister.
Wow.
So he's all like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't talk to you now, because everyone's all praising him, and they're kind of almost having like a party, like a we stood up to the US party.
Yeah.
And then they hang up, and then this is another that we connect the two.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The next scene is Emma Thompson is like she's like, I feel so, I've been making costumes for my kids while my brother stood up for his country. Like, what is my life? Sort of.
Oh,
She's
She
a
made a
sad wife.
papier-mâché lobster
Oh.
head.
Yes.
because you're a fucking
and
good
now it's
mom.
revealed finally.
That's a thing to be
Yeah.
proud of. Thompson.
Of course, yeah. But she's very sad in her
Sadie
life. She's a very
spaghetti.
sad character. She is very tragic.
Hmm. Hmm.
Well, you were on a roll.
Yeah, we're introduced to
Sorry.
her husband. Guess who her husband is, Alenka? Guess. You got to guess it.
Who's her husband? Who do you think it is?
William Dafoe. No.
Like, yes, your brother's the prime minister. That's my best Willem Dafoe impression. That's Green Goblin mostly.
Nice. So no, not him.
No,
Not quite.
no.
Who?
Alan Drinkman.
Alan Drinkman.
Oh, no, that's unacceptable.
That's her husband.
That's not a yay.
Mm-hmm.
There's some bad things going on.
Yeah, he's been emotionally cheating this whole time, but not really, not yet. But kind of. I don't know.
He's been flirting a bit. Mia's been leading the flirting.
Mhm.
Right.
He hasn't rejected it though. He's kind of in that is always just kind of like,
I hate that.
right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're in their living room and they're just talking, and Joni Mitchell is playing on the stereo. It's coming on Christmas.
Yikes.
Yeah,
No.
you know that one.
River, because
No.
it's been used in a lot of things. Most recently, Dash and Lily.
Yeah,
on
I just
Netflix.
watched that whole series. Yeah.
But even before Love Actually, it was used in Ally McBeal. It was sung by Robert Downey Jr.
Oh,
No.
great.
Yeah.
Great little fun fact about Joni.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's start a new podcast, Joni's Fun Facts with Chris. So they talk, and he's all like, "Ugh, like I hate Joni Mitchell. I guess I don't know why. Who hates Joni Mitchell? Seriously." But she's like, "Joni Mitchell is the reason your cold wife can feel." Something like that.
Yep.
Okay. What?
And she loves her, and true love lasts a lifetime.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's intense.
So
And
it's a
then they
little
make
snippet of a scene.
another kind of transphobic joke about dolls.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Transphobic
Which
and
doll to
anti-sex
give their
worker
daughter.
joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
They say how one doll looks like a quote unquote transvestite, which is obviously a term we don't really use anymore. And the other looks like a dominatrix. So it's just kind of like a bad off joke that didn't age well at all.
Not now. And then what's the next scene, Chris?
Hugh dancing.
Oh yes. So the
That
radio's
sounds
playing a song for Hugh. Like, this is for our awesome prime minister, a golden oldie for a golden oldie. Which
Even though he's not old.
yeah, he's like 40s, or I guess
like
he's in
for
his
a prime
50s.
minister,
but
he's pretty
30s.
young.
He is pretty young. Yeah. No, he's definitely not in his 30s, but
Late
like, this
30s.
is a middle-aged Hugh Grant.
Keira Knightley's only
Yeah, but this scene was
35.
just thrown in there for like
now.
this
She's
was
only-
just thrown in for pacing, right?
Yeah, I think so. They just
What?
Yeah, and for some relief, for a little bit of sex appeal, for a little bit of comedy appeal.
yeah.
So they play the song Jump. You might know it
Right.
from, I think it was in an orange
Jump,
juice
jump,
commercial.
Jump around. Jump. I'm
Yes,
just
that
kidding.
very specific orange juice
not
commercial.
that one.
Jump.
I
They're
know.
like, jump. Da-na-na-na. Yeah. They're playing that, and he kind of just starts grooving to it, and then he's dancing through the whole, what do you call it, the British White House?
British
Cooking
White
Girl
House.
shows up.
Yeah.
Like he's
Sees
going
him
from
dancing.
room to room.
Brew Grant, by the way.
No,
Yeah, Grant.
actually, Natalie doesn't.
What?
Over Grant.
Why
Yeah,
not?
no,
I can't drink it.
His secretary, who is it? I don't know.
I forget her job.
Catering manager.
No, that's
They're
who
all catering.
Natalie is.
No,
Wait, who?
no, the woman who catches him dancing, and then he's all like,
yeah,
"Oh,
I didn't remember that anyone caught him dancing.
yeah,
Oh, you're
yeah.
right. Yeah,
and he's all like, push the meeting with the Japanese ambassador till 5."
Yes, I think that's his
I'm
like
dancing.
secretary of staff. Like she's
Yeah. So that's a little like fun. It's literally like no character development really, other than he likes to dance, but that's
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
And something that they could reuse in the sequel. But-
Oh,
Then
I
the
don't
next
know
scene
what the
is
sequel is you're talking about, but we can
can talk about
discuss
it
it later.
oh yeah, everyone listening is wondering that as well.
Yeah, I know. They're going to
About
be
the
like,
sequel?
what? There's a sequel?
there is
Yeah.
not.
Is it a joke thing?
There's no
It's
sequel.
like a 15-minute long Red Nose Day special,
Okay.
which
It's a Red
reunites
Nose-
a bunch of the cast, and it's
And
written
it's
by
for
the
charity.
original writer. Like it's
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, we're back to Colin Firth.
Oh yeah, he's writing his book, and kind of, struggling along to understand languages. Love knows no language. They just love each other because they just bumbling around.
They're kind of
Right.
like they're talking to each other in languages that they can't understand, but they're each kind of saying like similar things or things around the same subject. Like
Yeah.
he's like, isn't it great that I can eat all these pastries and not gain weight? And she's like, don't eat them all, you'll gain weight. Another weight based
she's like,
joke.
you're getting pretty chubby the last few weeks.
So they're like doing these things where they're like, they can't understand each other, but they're kind of saying as if they're having a conversation.
And then
we know that, but they don't know that. It seems cuter to us than it does to them.
Right.
And then
That'd be
the next scene is still this, right, where he's working outside.
Yes.
And now it's revealed that he only falls in love once he sees a woman's body. That's when he truly falls in love.
Pretty much. I didn't have subtitles for the version that I watched, so
you missed all the jokes.
A lot of the jokes, but I've seen this movie enough times that I still remembered them.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's typing outside. Why he does this is uncertain, I guess, for the plot point in the comedy. But he's typing outside. He has all his pages that he has not made copies of, like stacked on this desk outside by the dock, and it's super windy out, and he's got his coffee cup and shit on his pages, and she comes down to like bring him his new cup of coffee and a pastry, I guess, and removes his cup of coffee, and all his pages fly off into the water, into the lake that's by this dock. And she's like, oh my God. And she like runs out after them. And it's like this slow motion scene where she's like gets to the dock and starts taking her clothes off, and he's like noticing her body. And that's when he truly falls in love. That's the moment.
And it's so cute, Alenka. You have to see it. It's adorable.
She's got a lower back tattoo, and he's like, wow, I never knew she was a real person I could love. But now that I've seen her naked with a tattoo, that changes everything.
Exactly.
Right. And she wears matching underwear. I mean, she looks great naked. Like,
that's really actually quite the accomplishment to wear matching underwear.
Yeah. Matching underwear?
It is.
The time? Who's the time
I'm
or
serious.
the funds?
Who even buys? Who buys matching underwear? You know, you want to, but it's like, wow, that's $40.
Is MeUndies not one of your sponsors?
Not yet.
We're
do they
working
sell
on
bras?
Yeah, do they?
They do. Buy MeUndies.
Why do you know that?
Oh, buy MeUndies. All right.
Are you their sponsor?
Listen to other podcasts.
I would love
that.
So
after she strips down to her underwear, she jumps in the lake, and he's like, oh great, she's in the lake. I'll look like a spaz if I don't jump in the lake. And they're both in the lake, and again, they're having this conversation where like he's like, I should make copies, and she's like, why don't you make copies? There better not be eels in here. Watch out for the eels. Like,
back and forth.
I don't think I would
it's really
enjoy
garbage.
that.
Just leave it. It's all bad.
Okay.
And then there's another longer, like again, the next scene is back in the cottage. They're warming up with a
hot cocoa,
a blanket, hot cocoa,
blanket, and a cup of Joe.
And again, they have this back and forth of I'm going to say this thing. And then in Portuguese, she's going to say a similar thing, even though we both don't understand each other.
It weirdly shows that they're starting to get on the same page, though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's true. Yeah. They have a connection, like an unknown connection. They somehow say the same things. They finish each other's sentences, even though they don't know the same language.
All right.
And she's like, are you going to drive me home at the end of the day? And he's like, oh, yep. And then he just says to her, it's my favorite time of day, driving you. And she says, it's my saddest time of day, leaving you.
Oh,
and you're like,
which comes out of nowhere.
Seems abrupt. Because we've seen them drive once, and now I guess they're in love, even though they can't talk to each other.
Half her lines up to this point are insulting him. Like, why doesn't this idiot make copies? Oh, I hope this stuff is good. I don't want to save all these pages that my grandma could have wrote. Like, she's just insulting him this whole time, and then suddenly it's like,
that's the Portuguese way. That's how you do it.
I guess so.
Yeah, I wrote down in my notes, this is my favorite storyline. So.
Oh my God.
Good.
Sorry, Chris.
Okay.
That's okay. No, these are valid points.
Is it actually your favorite storyline?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's beautiful.
They don't know each other.
I don't care. It's a rom-com.
What's
That's
the next
a lot
scene,
of
Chris?
emotion.
This is when Bira Knightley shows up at Andrew Drinkon's home.
Oh, yes. So drink whatever you want and beer.
I can't.
So she shows up as at home. His home is like a fucking workshop. Again, you can kind of see a couch somewhere, but it's mostly just like just rolls of paper and art supplies. And he's all like, oh, I don't know if the video's there. And she's like, oh, is it this one? Blank and Blank's wedding. I forget the names already.
Like theirs.
Chiwetel and Bear Knightley's.
Peter and something. Anyway.
Peter and Sarah. Yeah.
Julia?
Peter and Sarah's what? Or Julia. Yeah.
Sarah is a character, though.
Yeah, that's
Laura Linney.
Laura Ginny, yeah.
Right.
Laura Linney.
And she puts the video in. He's being all rude to her, but
and
she
he's
puts
being
the
like,
video
"Oh,
in.
I've probably taped over it. It's what don't even watch it."
Yeah, and it's
a
all
porn.
shots of her. It's only of her.
Oh,
It's just like close-ups of her
they're in
and
love.
just throughout the wedding day. It's not like privately.
Yeah, no, I get it.
From a tree.
Well, that one clip.
Doesn't feel that far off.
It's true. It's true.
Oh no, I wrote down
Yeah.
that he creeped on her the whole night. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Just
it's also like this is edited. Like this is not
Yeah.
raw footage.
Now,
This is
yeah.
a heavily edited video of just shots of her, close-ups of her eyes, like her dancing, her
Weird.
waving away as they go on their honeymoon.
as someone
Yeah.
so I've done a few weddings as a videographer and editor, so those people must think I'm in love with the bride because I just focus on the bride anyway, because I guess I'm just doing heteronormative weddings where the groom doesn't give a shit, so I'm just going to focus on the bride shit. So I'm like, ooh, do they think I'm in love with them?
Yeah, but then you don't just keep it in your personal collection to jerk off to.
And
Right.
like
You
didn't wanna
edit
give
out
it
all the
to her.
parts. Edit
No,
out
I
all
don't-
the
I
parts
totally
where
don't
like
do that. I don't.
she kisses her husband. Like it's just all her,
Yeah.
no husband.
Exactly.
And you kind of see her watching, like at first she's like, oh great, this looks beautiful, thanks for doing it. And then you see her kind of realize like they're all of me.
Yeah. She's like, but you hate me. You never talk to me. You only talk to Peter. What's going on? And
Ugh.
then he's just like, I gotta go.
He's like,
You
I
can
hope
lock
the
up if
tape's
you want.
helpful. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can let yourself out.
And then he turns around and he says, what does he say?
It's a self-preservation thing, you see.
Yeah.
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 And then Dido plays.
Yeah, Dino plays.
Sorrow, I won't sleep.
I can't breathe until
Feel
you're
your love
just
is
here
here
with me.
That's
Is
not
that
how
White
I
Flag?
remember that song. Yeah.
No.
No.
But I don't know what Dido song it is.
I only know White Flag and Thank You, really.
That's there will be no white flag above my door.
Yeah.
That's that
Yeah,
song.
that's a different
Oh.
song. It's
Oh, that's
a different
song.
song.
What song are you
All right.
doing?
It plays and he's all like, shit.
Okay.
Oh no, I just told
It's
her
like,
I kind of
shit,
love
Dido.
her.
Yeah, and you see him be like,
leave.
should I go back and talk to her? No, I'm not going to go back and talk to her. And then he has this great moment where, because he's just like in the streets and he goes like, rah, and like yells out. And this man holding shopping bags is like, oh, he's like startled by him because he just yelled for no reason.
And I don't know why, but I noticed this in a lot of early 2000s, late 90s movies, but he's got the baggiest jeans. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
glad that went out of style.
Honestly, if I were a
I
guy, I
like
would
that.
actually
All the way.
not. I would not be pleased it was out of style because us women, we have Lululemons.
No,
We got.
I don't wear skinny jeans. I wear like jeans that fit.
Wait, are these falling down to his knees?
I-
Like, are they that baggy?
No, but they're just like,
They're
well, no,
wide
it's just like
legs.
they're bunched up at his like real like wide leg. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh.
think it actually took me a really long
It's a
time
Luke.
to let go of baggy jeans.
Hey, Luke.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just noticeable in
R.I.P.
old
baggy
movies.
jeans.
Yeah.
Where do we go next, Chris?
Where do we
Hugh Grant
go
fires
now?
Natalie.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
wait, Hugh Grant.
He's all
fires
like he
Natalie.
brings in
Okay.
his other assistant. That's the staff manager, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
And he's just like, Natalie, could you, he's like, just don't read too much into this as a personality thing, but could you just redistribute her? Yeah.
And this is where she's like, the chubby girl. She's got huge thighs. And it's like,
Yeah,
great. I'm
but
glad
he's
we
like,
brought this
"Oh,
back.
oh my
It's
God,
And the
her chubby."
theater erupted in laughter.
Did they?
Yeah, but
Okay.
but like that was the thing. I was like, are we supposed to think she's chubby? Like, are the filmmakers saying that, or is it like he's like, no, she's not? Like the Hugh is like, no, she's not, and we're all supposed to be like, yeah, everyone around her is horrible. Or are we supposed to be like, yeah,
I
she
don't-
is a little bit chubby?
Yeah, I don't know what they're trying to achieve with
I
that.
am
Because, like,
confused.
also, like, yeah. Because it also shouldn't be like, but she's not chubby, so it's great because like there's
No,
nothing
I know,
wrong
yeah.
with being fat. You know, like there's
No,
nothing
of
wrong with
course.
living in a larger body, which is
Yeah,
why
yeah.
it's like, what is the joke? I think it's just an
Yeah, what
outdated
is the joke?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like, what
yeah.
are you? Because I feel like we all end up being like, but she's not even fat, and it's like, but also even if she was,
It doesn't matter,
that
yeah.
would not make this okay. Yeah, it's a very weird running joke that.
It is, yeah.
I
Yeah,
almost feel like yeah, us as an audience, we're like, yeah, she's not even chubby or whatever. It's weird that they're making that joke. But then I kind of think that the filmmakers were just like, well, we can't actually cast a chubby girl and call her chubby. That would be mean. Yeah,
that's true, yeah.
you're right. I think that was probably the thinking.
Probably the thought process.
Yeah.
Right.
But he fires her. Redistribute. Does that mean just like send her to a different department or actual fire her?
I
don't know.
think I think he meant send her to another department, and she took that as, gotcha, read you loud and clear. She's fucking out of here.
Yeah. Fire the fat girl. Yes,
Yeah.
that's the joke. No.
And this is a weird, like, yeah, it's like, so because you have a crush on her, she has to lose her job, but
Yeah.
maybe
But then
it's
is
good
this
that
like
you're
in
not keeping someone you're
retaliation because
attracted
you
to
flirted
near
with
you.
Billy Bob?
Yeah, but are you mad at her? Like, it's very like,
Yeah.
he's basically just like, I can't handle seeing her every day.
Yeah, I wrote that he can't keep it in his pants, and that's
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. Oh, Brew Grant. That's Brew Grant.
Yeah, Brew Grant. I already drank, but I'll do it again.
Thank you. Yeah. What's next there?
Ho, 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 that's right, boys and girls. It's an extra special gift, a two-parter. This episode will conclude next week. In the meantime, you can follow Haven't Seen It Podcast on Facebook and Instagram at Haven't Seen It Podcast and on Twitter at haven't_seen_it. You can also go to their website, www.haven'tseenitpodcast.com. Go check out that giant list of movies, everyone.